Well, by special request, Mom, we're making another movie. This one about the Bulwinkles. What do you remember about those Bulwinkles?
Well, I only knew Uncle Lee Bulwinkle. I think his family moved to Dallas from Charleston, South Carolina. One of his sisters, I think, was married to Professor Wolf, who came to Dallas to teach in a college there. And old Mrs. Bulwinkle and the rest of the family came to Dallas. And Uncle Lee married one of Papa Lewis's sisters.
Oh, which one?
Bessie, who had a daughter, Frances.
I remember Frances.
She was the same age as Deanie, my sister. They were both 2 years older than I. And I never did know of her grandfather Bulwinkle, but old Mrs. Bulwinkle lived in Dallas, and Uncle Lee was her son, and he had 3 sisters that I know of. One was married to a Lutheran minister in Charlotte, and one was married to a widower farmer who lived near Dallas. And he had 3 sisters, I think it was.
Uncle Lee had 3 sisters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of them, the youngest one, never married, but she taught Latin in high schools down in High Point. But all summer, and she made her home with Uncle Lee and Aunt Bessie, and Gastonia was there on holidays and summertime.
So who were their children? Uncle Lee and Aunt Bessie had Frances.
And Louis. And Louis married Maynard. And they had twins.
Oh.
And I never did know Mayon well because she grew up in Gastonia and Louis did, but we lived in Dallas and I didn't know her. But I remember we were over at their house one night after Bob and I were married, and we had a couple children. Were down there on vacation and went over to Gastonia where they lived. So, and what was it Maynard wanted to know?
No, this I think is her daughter Ruth. Just wanted you to talk a little about her parents or her family.
Yeah.
How many children did Louis and Maynard have? Just the twins?
Just the twins. Yeah.
What were their names? What are their names?
Ruth and
Lee?
Lee, yeah. I don't think I ever met either one of them. I remember being in their home, but it was before they had children. And we were down there on vacation. And she was very active into everything. Maynard.
Oh. Like volunteer work or?
Yeah, and alumni. She went to Queens College, and I think she was president of the Alumni Association before she graduated. So she was very active. Yeah.
Oh, funny.
Well,
Mom, tell us a little more about Uncle Lee. What do you remember about him?
Well, he was a lot of fun and a big joker, and was a lawyer in Gastonia, and a member of the House of Representatives in Washington for many years.
Remember the cameras up here, Mom.
Okay.
So did they live in Washington?
Yes, when Congress was in session.
Mm-hmm.
And he broke his leg in an accident that somebody was driving him back to Washington, and they were in an accident, and he broke his leg and had to be at home a lot, and that bored him to death. And so Deanie, Francis, Helen, and I were all about the same age, and he just had to sit there in Gastonia, couldn't be in Washington while his leg healed. So he taught all of us to play bridge.
Oh, uh-huh.
So we played bridge with him, and then we played bridge the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
You said he was a big tease. What are some of the things he did?
Oh, I don't know. He used to smoke cigars, and I remember that he put hot ashes on my wrist sometimes.
Why?
So just a big tease.
Oh, golly.
But
Now they'd call that child abuse, I think.
yeah, but it never did burn, you know. It
Oh.
just scared me because it was slightly hot.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was fun.
Well, good.
Yeah.
So, any other memories of Uncle Lee or Aunt Bessie or the kids?
Well, during the war, when Bob was 8 months old, we thought Bob Sr. was going to have to, thought his number was coming up and he would be going to the Army. So I took Bob and Judy. Bob helped take them down.
Uh-huh.
We went, I wanted to stay in Dallas instead of up here
Yeah.
while he was gone. And at that time it was hard to get fresh fruit, and I remember Uncle Lee had some Greek friends in Gastonia who had a wholesale produce company,
Oh.
and they gave him a big handful of bananas once, and he brought them over to
Oh.
Dallas. Bob was about 8 months old,
Yeah.
and we couldn't get much fresh fruit then.
Yeah.
So he was just fun.
Yeah. Sounds like an all-around nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Well, were you starting to say something, or is this a good time to...
Oh, I was just going to say he was in Congress for about 20-some years, I think, all except when Al Smith ran.
Oh, uh-huh.
And nobody in the county would vote for a Catholic.
Oh.
So he sat out for 2 years.
Oh. But then he was reelected, huh?
Yeah.
Well, he must have been a good representative for your area.
I think so.
Oh, okay. Well, we better say bye-bye, Mom.
Bye-bye.